Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.
Good evening, Central Louisiana. I'm Jack, and this is a special edition of the Let's Talk show here on Urban Cast. We're a few minutes behind schedule, so I apologize for that. Tonight's conversation is made possible by our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance. We appreciate their continued commitment to supporting meaningful conversations in our community. Right now, we're focused on the Resonance Cultural Arts Initiative. Their inaugural cultural arts show happening on Saturday, April the 18th at the Lagniappe Theatre here in Alexandria. The doors are open at 3. One of the shows begin at 4 p.m. and it runs straight on through 9 o'clock. You can pick your tickets up. There'll be some links here on the show. You can go ahead and book your tickets. You can buy individual tickets or you can buy tables. They're going relatively fast, so I'd encourage you to go ahead and book your space as soon as you possibly can. We're continuing the series of conversations that we've been talking about over the last couple of episodes, and tonight we're here and we're being joined by Damon Batiste. Damon is a renowned musician down there in the big booming metropolis of New Orleans. He's a cultural ambassador and founder of the New Orleans South African Connection. He's going to tell us a little bit about that as well tonight. If you're watching, drop your questions over there in the comments. We may bring them into the conversation. Damon, I'll let you introduce yourself, man.
Good afternoon, sir. Happy to be on your show. To all your listeners in Louisiana and around the world, Damon Batiste, the President and Culture Ambassador of New Orleans South African Connection. And I'm happy to be inducted into the Louisiana Music Hall of Fame with my father, David R. Batiste Sr., and my brother, Russell Batiste, that passed in 2023.
Okay. Damon, you come from a legendary, the legendary Batiste family. What was it like growing up surrounded by all that level of music and, from day one?
Well, it was just, we had music in our home on a very consistent basis. So it was almost like I never knew a household to be without music, So we had pretty much the best of introduction to a cultural and a festival landscape because our dad and my uncles, my dad was the band director, for people like Jackie Wilson, and they toured with a lot of the legendary blues and soul artists. And my father would be joining me April 18th in Alexandria. So it was just something that when you grow up with it, you never know. You don't know how to do without it because we were always with music. So it was something that was just a part of us,
That's just a part of you, I hear you. You've been performing since a real young age. And when did you realize music would be a part of your life's work as well?
Well, me and my brother Russell Batiste was branded as Young, Gifted, and Black. When I was 7, he was 9 years of age. We did many talent shows and was into the family band, really almost from birth, because in our living room, we had almost like a bandstand or a music studio set up. So it was mostly something, because I was also a track athlete as well in high school. St. Augustine High School, ran a track in the Mardi Gras track club early on. So I love sports and music. And once I got, it was just so innate because it was just a casual thing for us to do a festival as a part of a family picnic. So
Yeah,
that literally was, and now it's a kind of like the culture of Louisiana about
right.
tourism, but that's how we were literally born into that.
Yeah, yeah. How did your early experience in New Orleans shape your sound perspective?
Well, as a kid, listening to, being excited about Mardi Gras and
Hmm.
having a set of drums in our house and just literally, um, you know, living in Jefferson Parish and Kenner, Little Farms, Bunch Village, New Orleans seemed like, a distant world apart. So once I grew up in New Orleans, mother basically moved us from Bunch Village into New Orleans at about 9 or 10 years of age. In New
Hmm.
Orleans, just is a different world of itself, man. With brass band, black masking culture, um,
Hmm.
you know, Zydeco, Zydeco it's Southwest, but as far as the traditional band sound and just people living as musicians and cultural bearers, that's
Hmm.
something that's of New Orleans. That's not of most places around the world.
Hmm.
That is it's so common. It's a
Hmm.
commonplace to actually have a job and be an artist. Making a side hustle, playing music.
So you've and we're gonna look at your experience right now, and then we're gonna talk about Nosakan, and of course we're gonna delve into try to figure out what you're gonna get you to give us a sneak peek on what you guys are gonna be doing on the 18th. But
Okay.
your career and experience, you've been a part of the Batiste Brothers band since 1978. What has that journey taught you over the years?
It has been a phenomenal lesson. If you look at myself, learning from my brother Russell Batiste, my dad, and then passing some knowledge on and having some brothers and cousins. We have a superstar relative in the family, to John Batiste. Have won 5 Grammys, album of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and we have his cousins. That was a part of the Batiste kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I've always had my family as a part of events that I've done. One thing that that the music has done, being a producer, I worked at the Jazz and Heritage Festival for 25 years, and one of
Mm-hmm.
the first producers that helped create the Essence Music Festival. So I pretty
Mhm.
much, have been through the landscape of New Orleans cultural scene, um, from Congo Square to pretty much the litany of different neighborhoods, and even having after school programs that were centered around arts, music, and culture.
Right, right, right. You worked across blues, jazz, and culture music space. How have those influence shape your style as time went on?
Well, it gives it. Well, I've traveled to. I've traveled. Uh, our family, the Batiste brothers, was one of the first people to help open up the House of Blues. You know, in
Hmm.
actually Japan before it became a thing in the U.S. And
Hmm.
just having family members that were just really phenomenal on every different instrument, and learning about our distant relative like Alvin, Milton, Harold, learning about Uncle Lionel with Treme, and then just having so many musicians as friends. Um, it's really hard to say one thing is just a collaborative of culture. A
Hmm.
mixture
Hmm.
of so much, man. That I understand why people want to come to the region, to New Orleans or to Louisiana, to get a glimpse of something that they wouldn't normally get. Around,
Yeah.
and we got it in our house.
Right, right. You got it right there. You don't have to go very far from it. And then on
Yeah,
top of that,
yeah.
anywhere you go, you're recreating it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You founded Nosakan. Tell to connect New Orleans with Africa. What inspired that vision, bro?
That was in 1998. I was, you know, got you from doing the Essence Music Festival, and was
Mm-hmm.
trying to see what I was going to do for the summer before I came back to my my regular desk job at the Jazz Fest that we normally report in August and September, and I had the opportunity to have a relationship with the former mayor, who's now the Urban League president, Mark Morial, and I was asked to be a culture ambassador for the city as a fact-finding mission on the African Renaissance, because South Africa had, recently was just getting out of apartheid. So
Right.
I was, just being asked to go see how we could literally make the connection. And that's how, I got over there, but once I got there, then it was a totally different world for me.
Yeah. So yeah, that is right at the edge of that time frame of apartheid ending there in South Africa. Wow.
Yes, I met President Nelson Mandela in 1998
Uh-huh.
at his birthday party, and then from touring townships and understanding the different music and the things that they offered, it was a
Mhm.
game changer for myself.
I
After
could only.
after being involved in so many festivals and activities, I didn't really hear music that I heard in South Africa.
Wow, wow, wow. For those who may not be familiar with what exactly does NOSACON do, what's your charge, your mission?
Well, the acronym is the New Orleans South African Connection, OSCON. We put together music, arts, culture, and economic development initiatives between the USA and Africa, and we've
Hmm.
done many things with programmings and youth initiatives. We have an initiative now that we work on different projects to pursue kids and families that are caregivers living with cerebral palsy. I have a son with cerebral palsy, so NOSACON is a nonprofit and NGO that we find a way to uplift communities, around our cultural fabric and the experiences that we have within our network.
And you've been named cultural role ambassador to South Africa. What does that role mean to you?
Well, I really, when I first was appointed as a culture ambassador with the city, and there's many ambassadors now, but taking on a role as a culture ambassador for NOSACON, for the New Orleans South African Connection, it was
Hmm.
really a grassroots, operation that I involved, uh, government and the embassies after we really got started. So I never knew about the inner workings of the government until I really got started, and we got so further along that the government, asked, why didn't I ask them to help me? Because I was just opening doors that I didn't see open, man. And
Hmm. Right.
you could do a lot when you don't know what you're not supposed to do.
You ask for forgiveness later. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. How important is it for a person to understand the cultural connections between New Orleans and Africa? And
Well,
particularly.
I think given being growing up in the South, growing up in cities, that are connected to the Mississippi River, and
Hmm.
looking at Congo Square, where where the enslaved folks had the opportunity to express themselves culturally, on
Hmm.
Sundays that were not given any other place in the U.S. It's really important for you to understand the limits that sometimes could be put on you
Hmm.
if you don't really allow yourself to get out and be exposed to other cultures, other people, other languages, and
Right.
you'd be surprised how different the world is outside of your own community if you approach it, with
And
open
you,
mind.
you think it's real different, but when you get there, you also see a hell of a lot of commonality as well when you're traveling abroad. You know,
Yeah, so
different.
as much as yeah, it's I was saying with Nosagon is linking worlds together that are worlds apart. And
Right.
there are many people, like, I travel around the world, just they look just like us.
Right.
They want the same things that we want, better
Right. Right.
education, have a good meal and
Mhm.
enjoyment, so it's not that big of a difference once you start peeling back the
The-
layers on humanity, actually.
right. You mentioned youth and created opportunities through music and arts education. Why is that work important to you?
Well, that was a part that that was one of the things I was able to experience and do to come back to New Orleans from Dallas from Hurricane Katrina, and we was
Hmm.
able to work with Michelle and Barack Obama with a charter school called the Batiste Cultural Arts Academy, and
Hmm.
through arts education after school programming, it was really our signature piece that really highlighted Nosakan, that made us different. That we were
Hmm.
able to really make a connection and really connect the youth, connected with education, connected with trade development. Um, it just sparked so many things that actually uh, just kept going and going and going.
Right, right. Now, what impact do you see NOSACON having on young people and communities?
Well, because after doing getting involved with education and seeing the youth, not having the proper role models, leaders, really not having something to do. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a way to kind of connect their life skills and give them, things that you wouldn't think that was important to a family, but when a kid, gets an opportunity to literally see that he has skills and you know that they could do things beyond what the schools have actually give them an opportunity to do. Because most people, if you're good in sports, maybe if you in a marching band or something like that, but an after school program, arts and education, maybe give a kid an opportunity to do opera.
Mhm.
We've had kids from other countries that went to Manhattan School of Music and become you know medical doctors, you know, doctors in music and in arts. So it's just a window of opportunity that
Right.
that we have exposed us to a global pathway.
It's interesting that this is you guys is focus and whatever, and to see, I've had the opportunity to see some young kids at risk, kids that are quote unquote labeled at risk, and you put them in a room with tons of musical instruments and beats, where they can create beats and everything like that. That kid that was suddenly or day before yesterday was a problem. Today he's focused, and he's dedicated, and it's music, and it takes just a little time to take a kid who's really quote unquote out there and bring them right on into this in less than a day or two. They're a completely different person, and it's
And
all using the
yeah,
tools of the arts.
definitely we've seen kids like that. So I'm excited to come to Alexandria and pretty much
Hmm.
share our story. We've
Hmm.
been everywhere around the world and doing things, but to come to another city and just and tap into to the scene with the community is very exciting.
Yeah, it's interesting that you've had the opportunity to do this stuff outside of the country, and we need some of that right here at home.
No, we need it right here. Yes. No, definitely. So it gives me a lot of things to talk about because we have tapped into many different school districts uh
Hmm.
and music festivals. So it allows us to have a broad conversation,
Hmm.
and really tap into making our state a better place because our state definitely needs inspiration all
Right.
around. And I think these kind of community events and working with an architectural firm, minorities, man, that are phenomenal in what they do, how we got involved in this. It's really a big story that we can
Yeah,
share.
it really is, and that's one of the things. Uh, Harlan's background is in architecture science. You know what I mean? And the idea that you see, you know, a person in the science is off into the arts and utilizing the arts to do these type of things. A lot of times you don't see that crossover. I mean, we listen to music and stuff like that, but I applaud those guys for doing what they do because I come from that kind of a background as well, that sciencey background, and And I often say all the time that, you know, if we really want to reach a lot of our quote unquote at risk kids, you know, we need to tap into the power of the arts to really reach them. You are a part of a lineup um, in the upcoming event um, that blends music, spoken word, dance, visual arts, culinary experience. What does, you know, having representation of all of you know, that many various forms of the arts in one place at one time?
It's really a recipe to how I live and what Nosakan is all about. So
Hmm.
to have another organization to put that together, because we didn't know that they were doing this, you know, we just
Hmm.
kind of organically found each other, you know, through
Uh,
a mutual contact in Oklahoma, and
in Oklahoma.
yeah, yep, we were even though we both from Louisiana, we were, you know, connected through a Oklahoma contact.
Wow.
Someone said, Damon, I think you need to talk to these guys. And then Harlan and his brother and his fiance went with us to Los Angeles for the Batiste family cookout during the Grammy week, you know, during the Grammy weekend. We had a huge success in Box Canyon. And
Hmm.
so these are ingredients are with, you know, the core ingredients of New Orleans culture, of Nosakan, the Batiste family, and Black culture in a sense. You
Mm.
know,
Right.
this is how we have strived to, you know, to take ourselves pull ourselves out, and maybe, you know, some people use some of these same ingredients to get college scholarships, to get into high school, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
to employ themselves and to reach for a better tomorrow, you know, through
Right.
what we're doing. We just, you know, I just happen to have a family of musicians, and
Hmm.
to have being always able to be on stage, you know. So
Right. Right.
that's a secret sauce for us, you know.
All
And
right.
it has worked for some late night TV shows, you know, with a family member that have
Uh-huh.
you know, have another reason for people to like the family, you know.
I hear you. I hear you. What can people expect from Damon's performance on the 18th?
Well, you could expect just some really good music, you know, some
Oh
good
man,
music, and with
that's
some surprises.
I hate to cut you off on that. That's a standard stock answer. Tell us what you really gonna do.
Well, the from taking it like that, when you're hearing good music and you also mixing Afro-Cuban rhythms, you know,
Uh-huh.
soul, you're mixing with Congo Square. You know, I'm a percussionist, so I'm a guy that colorizes and flavorizes music. So you
Mm-hmm.
could think of music, but when you have, you know, different percussions and different types of, you know, assorted percussions, you know, djembe, congas, you know, mixed in
Mm-hmm.
with a band, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and vocals and some of the special guests. It's something that we would like to do more around Louisiana. That's, you know, not just so much New Orleans, but give it to the rest of the state, you know, spread it
Right.
out, because that's why the tourists are coming here. So you're gonna see from Damon, you're gonna see somebody that has made a huge impact on the culture tourism scene in New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans from the last 30 years or 40 years.
Mm-hmm. Right. And how do you plan to connect with the audience when you start to bring your style of music and everything? What's that plan gonna be? You know, in other words, I'm trying to get a little hint of what Damon planning on doing, man. I hope you get that hint.
Well, because this is a very casual conversation that I do all the time. You know, just as far as the song list, I don't know if they caught me at with Damon Batiste and the Nosakan All Stars at the Jazz Fest. I
Mhm.
you know I may have some my father, David R. Batiste Sr., will be a
Mhm.
surprise guest with me. Not a surprise no more,
Yeah,
but you
not a
know,
surprise no
he
more. That's what we're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. He's original funky soul, you
Mhm.
know, person that basically started a whole, you know, iconic, you know, form of music that has been the sound of New Orleans, pretty
Right.
much. So that's what you're gonna get with Damon, somebody that has, you know, followed in the family's footsteps, you know,
Uh-huh.
and put my own ingredient, you know, to the
Right.
gumbo, a gumbo of soul and funk. That's what you're gonna get.
All right, I hear you. I hear you. All right.
You're gonna
So,
get a gumbo.
we're gonna get the gumbo. All right, and you got daddy with you and all that kind of good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, you're gonna get the gumbo. The family gumbo, brother, is coming.
All right, I hear you. All right. Why are events like this again, Damon? Why are they important for? Why do you think, or what have you been told why this is really important for us here in Central Louisiana?
Well, I think it's the core value of what has made Louisiana and mostly New Orleans, a centerpiece of culture and music. So we can
Mm-hmm.
spread it around with the rest of the state,
Mm-hmm.
and folks like what Harlan and his team is doing in Alexandria. Uh, you're gonna see some inspiration coming out, and that's why it's so important that folks come out and talk to us and make the connection because it's about using music as a tool for economic development and making the
Mm-hmm.
community a lot better.
Right, right,
That's
right,
that's
right,
really what it's all about.
right, right. And and what I guess I would say, what does it mean to bring culture, history, and music together all in? Because that's what it sounds like we're going to be doing that night.
Well, for me, it is about leaving a legacy, a good legacy about what you have learned from your ancestors, the people that are no longer around. I had the
Mm-hmm.
pleasure to work with Mr. Tommy Peters, who was pretty much the catalyst with BB King, out of Memphis. Memphis is right along the Mississippi River, so we have so much to share. To celebrate New Orleans tricentennial. I organized the music cruise on the Creole Queen,
Mm-hmm.
for a while. So we have integrated ourselves pretty much in the cultural fabric of tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Not just for Jazz Fest. So we like a festival year round. But when you get architect, doctors, um, others, architects, engineers, scientists,
Mm-hmm.
connecting with us, it's just a universal piece that is just so phenomenal that and then once you get the beautiful people, dancing and enjoying themselves, man, and it's one of a kind. And I have two beautiful daughters that are college students. One is a junior at Tulane University, another's
Mm-hmm.
at ASU Arizona State University. So I'm a proud father, of
Oh,
having kids go in a different direction, but educated, and they do like music, but
okay.
they're very serious about their education.
Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. If someone is thinking about attending and they're on the fence, what would you tell them about why they should come out to the event on the 18th?
Well, it's just something that's going to be really, really a positive atmosphere, a positive vibe, from the cultural vendors, that I'm hearing that's going to be there from the musical lineup with the different artwork. And I think that's something that, and we're leaving New Orleans French Quarter Festival to come to Alexandria, you know.
All
So,
right.
so
All
you
right.
know that could tell somebody how important it is to who I'm bringing with myself. That
Mm-hmm.
we see it as a new opportunity as well. So,
Right.
um, new opportunity to share music, culture, and a universal experience. I've done this around the world so much, so why
Mm.
not Alexandria?
Why not? Just with 4 hours away, huh?
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
You're right. 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 Well, I tell you what, Damon, it's definitely been a pleasure speaking with you this evening. Do you have anything that you'd like to share with the community before we get out of here tonight? Um,
Well,
before I
one yes, one thing if there's anyone out there that that's that needs some inspiration, needs some upliftment from their family, I'm still grieving my brother, man. My brother was one of my closest uh, uh, friends, musicians. He was a hero to the music community and myself, and we're going to share some of the things that we did together as well. So we'll be, telling a family story through this musical show, this journey that we will share. This recently on 60 Minutes, one of our vice president Shaka Zulu was also featured on 60 Minutes. Some of his Indian suits called Black Mask and Indian. So The culture of New Orleans is so important. It's a $10 billion industry to our city, you know, in the state. So I think it's something we know we could share, and hopefully bring something to your city that we're trying to do things bigger and better. And this is our moment, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, and we're right here in the center of the state, you know, crossroads with everywhere you're trying to get to, and you know, it would be a good destination place to give an alternative to then going down all the way down to New Orleans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we want to tell
Not
people
that we
if they
have
don't have
anything
tickets now.
negative. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No,
No,
not that
you
we
asked
have
me.
anything. I think we just had crossed again. Go ahead, you go. I'm gonna be quiet.
No. I was just telling folks that they don't have a, you know, we still have some spaces for a few tables left because tables been moving. So, you know, bring a gang of folks with you. It's 21 and over. So that's what I want to tell folks. You know, bring your team and come ready to party. So.
All right. Well, you guys heard it. Damon, again, we appreciate you joining us tonight, sharing your experiences, your vision, your impact with, you know, our community. Again, the Resonance Cultural Arts Initiative inaugural Cultural Arts Show takes place Saturday, April the 18th at the Lagniappe Theatre. The doors are going to go open at 3 p.m. Show begins at 4 p.m. and it concludes at around 9 o'clock. Tickets are $50 with reserved tables available. So, and I think my understanding is the reserved tables are the things that's really going. So if you're planning on going, I would encourage you to go ahead and do that now. We also want to acknowledge the sponsors of this event, VLP Alliance, Greater Alexandria Economic Development Authority, the New Orleans, South Africa Connection, and 6 Feet Above. To our viewers, we also want to continue to who continue to support UrbanCast by just being a part of this audience. We definitely want to say thank you to you. A special thank you to our silver sponsor, Acadian Ambulance, and our business partners, Sadler's Towing, Long Product, Legendary Kung Fu and Tai Chi, Nader's International Market, the Threadhead Embroidery, and Elegance Beauty Supply. Oh, and our newest, O'Mel's Farms. Until next time, we'll see you then. Again, Damon, we definitely appreciate you taking that time to share what you bring into the festival, and we look forward to seeing you on the 18th, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Looking forward to coming.
All right. If you could just hang in there, Damon. I have a couple of questions, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here.
Okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and charge my phone so the light will come back on. Thank you.
Resonance presents an imaginative day of artist expression, April 18th, starting at 3 p.m. Enjoy Louisiana artists and musicians like Damon Batiste. This is a 21 and up event. General admission is $50 with tables available for purchase. Come experience the culture.
Hey, did you know Long's Products is a family-owned janitorial supply with mops, brooms, trash bags, and they even have food service disposables, carry-out plates, and to-goes? Check us out.